Alright, so quick rundown for people who don't know, which I would be surprised if you exist. RWBY is a rather divisive show on the internet that, in all honesty, I'm a bit of a big fan of. I admit the series does have issues though, but we're not going to talk about that now. That might be a video later, I'm still debating that. But we're here to talk about a spin-off novel, because that exists. There are also manga and comics and whatnot, but we're here to talk about the particular novel, RWBY After the Fall. I'm clicking my mouth a lot. Anyway, so first off, this story follows not our standard Team RWBY of Ruby, Wise, Blake, and Yang, but instead follows the side characters Team Coffee, which is different. They're an interesting group of side characters. Like, every character in RWBY has pretty good designs, but I really liked Team Coffee's designs. Not just for the bunny faunus girl, though. She's cute, but no, she wasn't the sole reason I liked all their designs. Anyway, that's interesting of itself because they never really were given that much focus in the original show, and this novel is apparently canon. It takes place at the same time as Volume 6 of the show, so it potentially could be canon if when the team eventually gets to this area. So I think we should go over the various plots detailed in the story. Well, plot, like, why am I talking like there are multiple plots? Anyway, after Beacon fell at the ending of, I forgot what volume that was. Anyway, Team Coffee has gone off to Vacuo in Shade Academy, and a year has passed since then. So, what have they been up to? Basically the same old, running various jobs and slaying Grimm in the desert. One day, they help an old woman who's attacked by a Grimm and help her return to her group, a group of refugees that are basically been moving from town to town as they've been constantly assailed by the Grimm. As it turns out, something in town is causing their emotions to flare up and run amok, and of course this will attract the Grimm. And this causes the refugees to flee and add more to their group, which causes the emotions to flare up even worse next time it happens, basically becoming a gigantic death march group, which is kinda sad. Anyway, Team Coffee now decides to investigate the situation in order to help out the old lady and the various refugees, basically deciding that they'll figure out what's causing all the emotional flare-ups in order for the refugees to finally settle down and get some peace after all this time. One of the interesting things of this novel, considering the fact that it's focusing on former side characters, is that we get further explanation of their various characters, their abilities, and their semblances. This novel also confirms Coco to be a lesbian, which is really cool. There were always fan theories about it, but there are also plenty of fan theories that everyone's lesbian in RWBY, but we'll talk about that probably another day. Anyway, semblances. We get a lot of the team semblances are what you would expect, but I will give a shout out to Fox's and Daichi's. Fox has telepathy, which is a pretty cool semblance. It basically allows them to do the whole Jean Grey mind link thing, so they all can communicate without speaking. And then there's Daichi's semblance, which I won't give away what it is here, because I do want to leave something for the book, but it's an interesting semblance and kind of wild in a cool way. It'll be interesting if he finds a better way to incorporate it into battle, basically. So yeah, and if you don't know what semblance is, it's basically an X-Men style superpower that every huntsman and huntress in the series possesses. In all actuality, semblances are actually a major plot point in the book. They're a major thing and seem to be a much bigger issue than they are in the TV show or web series, which is also funnily interesting. Again, outside of the semblances, we do get further explanations of Team Coffee as a team, their founding, their relationships to each other, and all that kind of stuff. The emotional flare-ups also cause them to flare up a bit, and it's kind of interesting to see them fight against each other in verbal sparring, not physical sparring. And the flashbacks are all pretty cool, as they do take place in some of the earlier seasons as well, with the characters of Team Coffee interacting with Team RWBY and other characters a bit more. And again, that's pretty cool, these kind of retconned interactions. And of course, being a RWBY product, the fight scenes. The fight scenes are really good. They obviously focus a lot on them, and they're all pretty well done. They're all exciting, all pretty clever, all cool to see, and again, for the explanations of the characters. I honestly think it would be cool if they kind of, added in these fight scenes, or at least animate these fight scenes for the show just as cool things that they could do, like maybe as a DVD extra for whatever volume that they might return to the plot in. It could be a cool DVD extra. But at the end of the day, also, this leaves the door open for a sequel, which I think is out now, which is also pretty interesting, and has Sun in it. Sun appears at the end of the novel in order to help the team out with his team and basically explain to them that Volume 6 happened. So, yeah. Overall, it's a fun, enjoyable little read, and get little side content for RWBY. Not that has a lack of side content. There's plenty of side content for RWBY, but I think this is probably one of the better ones. I will love to see how they interact with this in the main series, because I imagine, because all the big revelations that happen here about some things, unless they wrap it up in the book series, because there's a sequel, so there might be a third book somewhere down the line. Unless they wrap it up in the book series, it could potentially be a major thing in the show. Maybe sort of, kinda, we don't know yet, obviously. But, again, if you're a fan of RWBY, check out the book if you haven't already. And, well, until next time, everybody.